Just saw the latest review for your OnlyFans. Yeah, it might be time to hang it up, and the nicest thing they can say is that your photos look like you smell like hot dog water. Just saying. Hello, and welcome back to a show that says maybe you should be a little less worried about what clothes you wear, and maybe a little more worried about what's under them. Here on the PeterPod Network! Season 2!
Because your theory is we're going to go down there and have a donkey barbecue and I'm going to furnish the ass, right? You are not. You don't know where that's been.
Hello and welcome back. This is episode 12 of the PeterPod Network. I am PeterPod. He's Will in the back. And if our mascot Melissa Cody, aka the butt slut, had as many dicks going out as she does going in, well, she'd be a fucking porcupine, wouldn't she? That's right, we are back with another fucked up episode of the only New Hampshire-based show that combines comedy, news, and a desire to tell you all to go fuck yourselves. This week we talk about the moron from New Hampshire who thought it was a good idea to call in a bomb threat to Harvard University and demand a Bitcoin ransom. Donald Trump is giving it another go and will be in New Hampshire this week campaigning to his followers and pissing off a whole lot of others. Hollywood Writers Union's on strike and the rest of the world said, who fucking cares? Get your asses back to work. And look out, parents, as the government is looking to pass a bill that would take away your kid's favorite babysitter. We planned a full show for you this week, so hold on to your asses. Your shit's going to be straight fire. If you'd like to submit a butt slut joke of your own and have it read on the show like Jay and Concord did, or more likely you heard something we said that pissed you off, well, you can contact us at thepeterpodnetwork@gmail.com so we can tell you to dime out about it. And we're not kidding about that either. We do right back. And as one person who wrote into the email this week is about to find out, sometimes we respond on the show, and we really don't give a fuck. So let's do this thing. Her email starts, and I warn you, she writes like someone who failed 5th grade, to PeterPod, which she misspelled somehow. You really shouldn't make fun of people who have cancer. My mother has it, and you jokes and rude comments are ugly and mean. Oh. Well, make fun of people who deserve it, not victims who can't help it. Cancer is a serious thing, then ruins lives. Okay, this reads like a mongoloid is given a box of crayons. So basically it goes on like that for another line or two, and then ends with, cancer isn't funny, and she signs in Melanie. And I won't read her last name for the obvious reasons. So let us begin by saying we are very sorry for Mother's situation and would like to ask, is it the kind of cancer your dad was hoping for, or is it the kind she can get better from? Well, you can find the archives at PeterPodNetwork.com, and only location online that has all the episodes, art, songs, and the rest of the crazy shit that makes us the PeterPod Network. And subscribe where you can find us and hit us on all the major socials, as well as Amazon Music, Samsung Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, pretty much anywhere podcasts can be found, except Apple. They know why. All right, with that out of the way, onward and upward, I always say, so let's keep this show moving forward with King of the Jackholes. Well, I guess you know we're about to piss somebody off. And we all know what that means, don't we, kids? That's right, this week's King of the Jackholes brought to you by Drunken Advantage Malt Liquor, the alcoholic beverage chosen most by the children of Somalian pirates. So we have to say it was a slower than normal news week when we were looking around for this week's episode of KOTJ, but lo and behold, the prodigious son has returned, and apparently he's still a fucking idiot. That's right, this week's King of the Jackholes, none other than Hunter Biden, and very surprisingly, this is the first time he's won King of the Jackholes, so let's go ahead and make sure this is a special one. The man voted most likely to ruin his father's presidential career has decided he no longer wants his father's legal strategist to be involved in his many court issues that he's currently facing. And what is he currently facing, you ask? Well, here's that pesky child support case. What is that, Arkansas? Well, that ain't shit compared to the gun charge, and apparently this was news to us. He's also looking at not just an IRS investigation into his taxes, but whatever is going on also has the Justice Department looking into it as well. Fucker Biden's the gift that keeps on giving. The man most known for a photo of him smoking crack while using a hooker for a pillow thinks he could do better than the same people who got a man who can barely spit out a clear sentence voted president of the goddamn United States. Someone might want to have him tested, and not just for drugs this time. That boy might need a helmet. We would say he needs an intervention, but from all appearances, it seems like Hunter Biden was better off when he was on crack. At least then he was tucked away somewhere and no one gave a fuck about what he was doing until the photos came out. And there is a lesson for you kids in there. Doesn't matter who you are, even if you are the president's son. You get caught smoking crack in a room full of hookers, and, well, you gotta make sure there's no pictures. And if there's no pictures, but no one cares, and you can keep doing your sweet, sweet crack. On a more serious note, you may envy Hunter Biden for his hard partying ways, and yeah, getting supremely fucked up and using beautiful hookers as furniture sounds fun as shit. But please keep in mind, these are the type of hookers who are okay with a guy smoking large amounts of crack around them. Let's just say these aren't the type of hookers you want. No, these are the type of hookers that make us make an appointment for the free clinic in the next morning. And also, apparently crack is expensive as shit, because this motherfucker's reportedly millions of dollars in debt. Yeah, very quickly, Hunter Biden's becoming our new Kanye West, and honestly, we're being completely non-political about this. There is so much shit we can write about this walking Valtrex commercial. We hope he stays in the news for years, because we can't wait to see what he does next. And speaking of Hunter Biden's next fuck-up, well, I guess how he's going to pay for his new legal team now that he told daddy's lawyers to go fuck themselves. Well, he set up a fund for people he knows to contribute to. Yeah, that's right. The son of the President of the United States essentially has a type of GoFundMe to pay for his court costs. You can't make that shit up. So for all this and more, and we really do hope there is a fuck ton more, well, we have to name Hunter Biden King of the Jackholes. Well, I guess you know we're about to piss somebody off. Hi, everybody. It's me again, Jeff McConaughey. And my stepbrother Matthew is threatening me with rehab if I don't stop making these commercials, telling you all about the inebriating majesty of Drunken Advantage malt liquor. The only malt liquor preferred by the children of Somali pirates. That's right, they ain't got no drinking age in that little section of hell. Speaking of hell, if you want to make sure that when you get there, the devil shakes your hand and says something like, "Damn, no one's ever been that drunk and still able to operate a milking machine before," that is one spectacular way to die. They reach no further than the bathroom stall without a lock at your local gas station. You can get yourself some of that beautifully cloudy and suspiciously chunky malt liquor. That's right, that's the Drunken Advantage. Remember when Jesus was the name of a guy on a cross that's hanging on your grandmother's wall, and not the name you gave to the police when you reported your bike stolen? Remember when Madonna didn't look Asian? Remember when Tree Fitty was pronounced 350? Well, then what you need is the Drunken Advantage. That's right, the same Drunken Advantage that makes your mother-in-law second-guess herself before she decides to start throwing hands. The same Drunken Advantage that Lindsay Lohan has had since she was 12. You can only get that Drunken Advantage from Drunken Advantage malt liquor. The only malt liquor that knows. You could give two shits if the car behind you was flashing blue lights. You're gonna win this race or die trying. That's Drunken Advantage malt liquor. Because sometimes 5 to 10 ain't shit. Drunken Advantage malt liquor does not condone drinking and driving. Sure, it's fun, but we have to tell you not to do it. And definitely do not stop by the studio to pick me up after work so we can go get loaded. What are the words to this song? I don't know, but I'll carry on, because I've got something to say. And here comes the rant of the week. Yes, welcome back. As it turns out, Jonah Hill hasn't killed the rant just yet, as we roll into episode 12. The only reason to bitch. And that reason would be, who the fuck tried to assassinate Russian President Vladimir Putin last week with a drone strike in Moscow? And more importantly, why the fuck did you miss? Russia says it was Ukraine that staged the assassination, when they, of course, then said it was the United States that was behind it. And what does everyone else say? Well, they say, did Russia just bomb themselves so they could blame someone else? And they might be right. Absolutely no one thinks that the crazy-ass horsefucker Vladimir Putin isn't so fucking out of his mind that he wouldn't blow up a small chunk of his own capital in order to false flag his own people. This guy once had someone drop radioactive shit in one of his own citizens' drinks at a restaurant. Plus all that shit we said he did with a horse. Most have speculated that Russia's just using this as an excuse to do something batshit crazy to Ukraine. And one can only guess what the fuck that's going to look like. Though most of us outside of Ukraine are still doing nothing like we're supposed to, because, 1, it ain't our fucking business. And 2, Ukraine is just as shitty as Russia. We can all stop pretending that Ukraine is some magical place that the big bad monster is trying to destroy. Unicorns don't come from Ukraine. Ukraine is just as much corruption and fuckhead politicians as Russia does. We just don't get to see that because at the moment they're trying to figure out how to outrun large caliber live fire. Some are asking if this will lead to another Cold War standoff between the US and Russia, but since we all know that plywood desks don't actually stop nuclear Armageddon, we here at the PeterPod Network say, just fucking do it and do it now. Drop a bomb so big on Moscow that their Iron Curtain melts into the shape of a giant donkey dildo, and then we can use that to fuck Vlad Putin up the ass for being that vodka-soaked horse dick-licking half a scumbag that we all know and love to fuck with. And you know what? I'm just going to say it. What kind of name is Vladimir anyways? It sounds like a drunk whore who wants your blood, which is exactly how I used to describe my ex-girlfriend. But back to why this whole thing is bizarre as fuck. So far, no one's doing a damn thing about it. The last time someone tried to assassinate a European leader, Austria went to war with Serb, and we got World War I. Oh, sorry, Serbia. This time, not so much. If Russia really was a target of a foreign country and did nothing about it, well then, Vlad, old boy, you're a pussy. And if it's the other way around and Russia really did make all this up, well then, Vlad, old boy, you're a giant pussy, and you're also dumb as fuck. So in conclusion, we'd like to say we don't know what happened. Honestly, we don't really care what happened, but we will use any excuse we can to make fun of Vladimir Putin. And before we go, we just want to mention that our analytics show us on a map where people listen from. Holy shit, is that true? Okay, so we can see on a map where you're listening to PeterPod Network from, and we'll just say we really hope that dot we see in the middle of Moscow, yes, is accurate. That is awesome. Did you know there's no holes in Superman's cape? And the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers didn't like the gays. Scooby-Doo is just a science experiment. Who broke loose and got a stoner friend? Oh? Did you know there's a mansion on the hill, and in there lives a ghost of Cowboy Bill? Harry Houdini was a great magician, unless you count that last one. Hey guys, it's been like 45 minutes. Should we bring him up now? Everybody wants to live in 90210, and we can't wait for the fight against Melrose. On some other day, I'll tell you all the tale of how Uncle Jesse ended up in jail. Good night, Michelle. You all remember Saturday mornings. You all remember vegging out. You all remember the parental warnings. You all remember ignoring them. Did you know Pee-wee had a different fun house? That's where he got arrested for taking it out. One of the guys who did a voice on G.I. Joe is now serving 3 to 5 for putting the wrong hole. Remember, kids, knowing is half the battle. Some might say the shows that we used to watch when we were kids were pretty fucked up. Future child predators, no one who killed his wife. And that's what you get in a 1980s life. The 1980s, when everyone's favorite sports hero was O.J. Simpson and Madonna still looked fuckable. You all remember Saturday mornings. You all remember vegging out. You all remember the parental warnings. You all remember ignoring them. You all remember Saturday mornings. You all remember vegging out. You all remember the parental warnings. You all remember ignoring them. You all remember Saturday mornings. You all remember. Coming to you live from the PeterPod News Station's world-famous Stage 5. Join our host in discovering what makes you tick, New Hampshire. Is your neighbor secretly running a Taiwanese brothel out of his basement? Are they open when I get off work tonight? Do we know if they accept checks? Can someone call my wife and let her know I'll be late? This is the PPN News. Welcome back to New Hampshire's only blunt and offensive news. Last week, some asshat and Ware was throwing pipe bombs out his truck window for a laugh, and this week court proceeded for another asshat who sent bomb threats to Harvard University and demanded Bitcoin in return for not blowing up the famous educational landmark last month. Cambridge police believe New Hampshire resident William Giordano, yes, you failed another one, New Hampshire public education system, and another unknown person sent automated phone calls last month that threatened multiple explosions if they didn't pay up in cryptocurrency. One problem that quickly came to light: Giordani forgot about the security cameras that are literally fucking everywhere at Harvard University. Another problem: the bomb in question that was found was a tool bag full of fireworks, which, if you're keeping count, means there were 2 tool bags involved in this story. The one that held the supposed bomb and William Giordano. Hold on to your hats and try not to lose your shit. New Hampshire's former President Donald Trump is making his way to the Granite State this week to give an interview with CNN, of all people, and to continue his campaign for president. A glorious orange one will be taking his talking points to the people around the state in an effort to be hated just a little less. But now that the commercials for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' own presidential run start to circulate, that dead bleach blonde raccoon that sits on Donald Trump's head should probably sit up and take notice as they move forward towards November. Some may remember Trump's last visit to New Hampshire, where someone called the police because they thought a Klan rally was happening on South Willow Street because a group of Trump supporters who had Trump flags on their trucks met up in a parking lot to get together to go get dinner. New Hampshire, man, you never change. And also tonight, Linda, come get your fucking parrot. And you owe me some fucking car wash money. Reports of a parrot swooping around Elm Street in Manchester are being reported, and the tropical bird keeps yelling out Linda to all those who passes by. Obviously, some people think the parrot is just someone's pet that must have escaped, and others think it was just set free. Those kids coming out of the paintball store saw a brightly colored target that needed, well, a new coat of paint. More kidding. All reports are the parrot was unharmed and eventually was caught before the start of Manchester's taco tour that occurred on Thursday. And finally tonight, speaking of the taco tour, roughly 20,000 New Hampshire residents came to Elm Street to enjoy a taste of Mexico that real Mexicans find offensive. And after enjoying a pedestrian-only event on Elm Street filled with margaritas and spicy walking tacos, the event's participants went home to relax with happy hearts and full stomachs, and about 45 minutes on the shitter. When was the last time you had the guts to stand up and tell those bastards what you want, and then went and got it? Hi, my name's Jeff McConaughey, and I want to tell you about the one solution that can fix every problem you have ever fucking had. We call that solution the drunken advantage. That's right. Do you feel intimidated at work? Like you can't speak up for yourself? Do you feel awkward around the water cooler? Well, worry no more, because I'm here to tell you about Drunken Advantage Malt Liquor, the only malt liquor that doubles as rocket fuel. Why, after just 11 or 12 bottles of that premium, straight from the alley taste of Drunken Advantage Malt Liquor before work, you will never feel anything ever again, especially your teeth. And you definitely won't have those awkward encounters that leave you feeling like no one likes you. Hell, you won't even fucking care who's in the goddamn room. Because with Drunken Advantage Malt Liquor, every interaction is just another chance to turn that water cooler talk into a back office orgy when the boss goes out for lunch. And we didn't forget about you ladies, as we are now introducing Drunken Advantage Seltzer Malt Liquor, the only adult beverage that is guaranteed to make your vagina wider than Harry Styles' asshole in an all-you-can-eat dick buffet. I hear he pays double for that 2-hole dining experience. So next time you need to sit back and think of the best way to tell your boss you quit, remember that everything is easier with that Drunken Advantage. That's Drunken Advantage Malt Liquor. Because fuck them. That's why. Drunken Advantage Malt Liquor is not responsible for any lost employment caused by Drunken Advantage Malt Liquor. If you want to tell your boss off, that's fine, but don't come crying to us unless you're looking to buy another case.
Listen to stories from around the world. Sit back and relax with your girl.
A big welcome back to another edition of Our World. Another show that really just teaches you that you are, in fact, a giant piece of shit. Mostly because we all are. First up tonight in Our World, the popular fast food giant McDonald's just fucked up worse than that time Gianna got her extension stuck in the shake machine. CNN's reporting that two 10-year-olds were found working at 2 a.m. at a Louisville, Kentucky location. Just flipping burgers and trading Pokemon, I guess. Story doesn't end there, though, as it turns out the two boys didn't receive any pay. We're only two of about 60 kids found to be working for no pay at all hours of the night in 3 different franchises: Kentucky, Ohio, Maryland, and Indiana. Some of the mothers of the children are calling for harsh punishments to the adults involved, while some of the fathers are saying, how the hell my bitch gonna sell her tricks with a 10-year-old around? It wasn't child labor. That was daycare. Are you sick of this life? You feel like you need to end things? Well, apparently Vermont thinks just because you live in Jersey doesn't mean you can't head up north and enjoy the foliage. And if you need to, maybe stay a while and enjoy some of that sweet, sweet euthanasia. And that's right, the state of Vermont has decided that out-of-state residents can now qualify for assisted suicide under doctor's supervision. Now, don't get us wrong, just because your boyfriend told you what he really thinks of your parents, that is not a good enough reason to qualify. You gotta be more than emo to get the dead stick. But for those suffering from debilitating illnesses, you can now head to the state that everyone forgot about. Till that time, Bernie Sanders made us all think he very well may have shit himself in a national debate. And before you Bernie bros get out there offended, look at his face. Bernie Sanders has the face of a man who's been holding a fart in for decades. Looks like I may have to wait to see that last half of Season 5 of Yellowstone, as the Writers Guild of America has decided to go on strike. Again. And what is their whiny-ass reason this time around? Well, they don't want anyone to hire writers who aren't part of their guild. So, basically, if you are a writer and you don't want to pay dues to the WGA, you can go fuck yourself. And we here at the PeterPod Network would like to say this. You should go fuck yourself. All of you. You should be getting as far away from the Writers Guild as you possibly can. You pay them dues for them not to do anything to help you in your career, and then you're expected to not get a paycheck while you go on strike on their behalf. That is some fuckery right there. Frankly, Jimmy Kimmel can't write a joke anymore and needs a team of people to prop him up. Maybe we don't need Jimmy Kimmel either. Hire one of the writers he used to use. You won't have to pay them retarded amounts of money, and at least you know they can write a joke. What does Aerosmith frontman and rock legend Steven Tyler have in common with Jared from Subway? Yeah, that. Rolling Stone magazine reports the lawyers saying Steven Tyler shouldn't have punishment at all are, as another lawyer is putting it, fucking insane. Lawyers for Tyler have come up with some pretty interesting reasons why Steven Tyler should not have to face civil suits related to the singer's written admissions, such as using statements he made in a book where he said he fucked a 16-year-old against him to prize him of his right to free speech. Another reason given is that she couldn't file a lawsuit against Tyler because he has immunity as her caretaker/guardian at the time, which makes toys in the attic just a whole lot fucking creepier, no? And lastly tonight, parents, you may want to sit down for this one, because a new bipartisan bill being presented before Congress wants to enact a law that bans children under 13 from using social media. So now your favorite babysitter may have to quit, and you'll have to spend time with that fucking monster who ruined your twat and made it so you have to pee every time you sneeze. The reasons behind the bill, it does actually make sense, and we've seen you people with your kids before, so we get it too. We're pretty sure we could switch out your baby in a stroller with a chihuahua. Neither you who's plastered Instagram nor your kid who's plastered Candy Crush would even fucking notice. Looks like we're finally getting sick of having stupid kids.
There once was a shitty town in southern New Hampshire, a place where all the drugs are found and the homeless eating dirt. Bring all your kids on down to taking all the sights of our little shitty town, the granite state of life. 20 gets you 1 gram if the cops look away, but you don't have to worry, that's how they make their pay. Spend all your money on the corner of Hanover. Welcome to this dirt hole we call Manchester. Come to the river and find a fresh body, probably just a drug dealer who had too much to say. Head on down to City Hall to find all the camps, and after the bum fights we can crown a new champ. Go on down to any pocket, land of drunken sin. Even the cops won't stop so you can do your heroin. Stop by a corner store, but not while it gets robbed, which could happen at any time because these fucking cops. Money gets you 1 gram if the cops look away, but you don't have to worry, that's how they make their pay. Spend all your money on the corner of Hanover. Welcome to this dirt hole we call Manchester. Come to the river and find a fresh body. Probably just a drug dealer who had too much to say. Head on down to City Hall to find all the camps. And after the bum fights we can crown a new champ.
And that is it for this week's show. Hopefully you Biden supporters aren't too pissy about what we said about Hunter. Hopefully you Trumpers out there don't get a stick up your ass about what we said about Trumpy. They all suck. I'm just not afraid to say it. So remember to hit that subscribe button and follow us on all the major socials. You can find us on Amazon Music, Spotify, Samsung Podcasts, YouTube, and more. But as a search bar, put in PeterPod Network. See what happens. Send us your butt slut joke and have it read on the show by sending it to thepeterpodnetwork@gmail.com. Remember, you can always find the archives at peterpodnetwork.com, the home of all things PeterPod Network. So for Will in the back, I am Peter Pod, and our mascot, Melissa Cody, a.k.a. the butt slut, is like a cloud. When she disappears, it becomes such a beautiful day. Have a great week, and we'll make fun of you again next Monday. Stay safe, but not too safe, because this has been the PeterPod Network.
Here we are with what you want, even if you don't. I've already had too much to drink and I might be a little stoned. They're ready to be stupefied by a story about your mom. And maybe you'll realize that we just don't give a fuck. Just trying to have some fun.